All right, good morning, everyone. If you are not driving and wearing clothes, go ahead and turn the camera on. We'd love to see your smiling faces. We got some guests here. There's Jill.
Hello.
And there's Maria.
Hello.
And then are you new as well? What's your name?
Erica.
Erica, nice to meet you, Erica. So let's kick it off as we do every week. Brent is going to be here in just a couple minutes, but until then, let's kick it off with tell me something good. So what's the new client that you have, new closing, just something good professionally that you'd like to share?
Okay.
Manu?
I have a listing coming up in Sacramento under $500,000.
Boom.
But they're going to buy first before the list.
Okay.
Two transactions.
Boom. Congratulations. Give a round of applause, everyone. Find this client, Manu.
I'm from church.
Church, there you go. So your sphere. Who else? Who else has something good to share?
I had 4 open houses last weekend.
Wow.
And one house, I had 17 people that showed up.
Boom.
And I got 2 great leads from that.
Congratulations. Thank you. How did you get all 4 open houses? Like, what'd you do to sit those?
So I just looking through like the MLS or realtor.com and contacting agents to see, check out their listing and ask them, hey, if you don't have an open house scheduled or, don't plan on having one scheduled, I would love to do an open house for you.
And it worked.
Yeah.
And you got 4.
There's several people that said no, or already have one scheduled, or per policy, we don't work with other brokerages, but.
Well, thanks for sharing, because it's not always easy. It's not the first person you call and like, yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you got to call around. 2 out of 50?
Yeah, 2 out of 50. Yes.
All right. Hey, let's do. We got the man in the house, Mr. Brent Gove. I know you're on a time crunch, Brent. Do you want to go ahead and share?
For the Caribbean today.
Oh, wow.
Eat your hearts out. All right. So what are we doing here? I walked in hot here.
Walked in as if you
Happy, not hot.
you shared 6 sentences last week about your Tony Robbins thing. Did you want to dive into any more of that?
Oh wow, I'm not prepared for that.
If you're not, we can roll.
We go to my notes. We'll just keep rolling.
We can roll. Awesome.
It was amazing.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, we always do 3, so let's do one more. Tell me something good. What good happened last week professionally, or Alicia?
So I'll brag on Scott. He did an open house with Brenda, and he did an open house with one of Darcy's agents, and got 2 leads, and both are already pre-qualified and ready to start.
He's good at working the room. He really
My mom told me.
Good.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm brag on my wife. We had a tough one on Land Park. She just closed. That was
Yay!
Chris almost had a really rough time at the hospital with COVID-19. Okay, buddy?
Just old.
All right.
Just old.
So plus 78% of his lung capacity in the hospital. So to see him walking around and a lot of us were crying. Slow down, breathe. So anyways, we're thrilled to have you. Good to have you.
Awesome.
Good chair.
Yeah, dude, we got some chairs. We got some cushy ones.
You stand for a little? Okay, you sit here when you're ready. Anyways,
Awesome.
love you, man. Good to see you.
All right. Well,
I've
hey.
not seen him since he got COVID. I couldn't see him at the hospital. I couldn't see him. So good to see you here.
COVID diet right there.
I could use a little COVID-19.
Oh gosh. Too soon. Watch out behind you. Watch out behind you. Hey, Alicia, you mind giving us a mortgage update?
Yeah, so I realized one of the one of my favorite programs, I just wanted to hit on and make sure everybody understands it, knows about it, is USDA. It is a 100% financing program down to a 580 credit score. So a lot of your clients will be told, oh, there's no down payment assistance for people under 660 or 640. Well, they can go 100% financing with USDA. So on the Brent Gove site or Facebook page, I put the link for you guys to easily look up a house. So this morning I taught myself something researching this for you. I inputted my address, which is in Lincoln, and I would have told any customer who asked me if Lincoln qualified, I'd have said, no way, Jose, my house qualified. So the point of USDA is they go for population-based numbers, and they say, okay, if a certain zip code now I'm realizing is a lower population, that's where they're offering 100%. So they want people to basically move from the cities and get out into the semi-country. Now it's okay if the house is in a suburb, that's okay. So on the page, you'll see that, you know, Olivehurst and parts of Marysville and Yuba City, and now I've noticed parts of Lincoln, Sheridan, Auburn, Loomis, Granite Bay. So it's address based. So you do have to look up an address because you'll have one block that qualifies and the next block over doesn't. So you gotta be very careful with that with your clients because you'll take the time to go show them the house and then you're like, oops, doesn't qualify. So the features on the program is government financing always has better interest rates, right? So it's got really low interest rates. The mortgage insurance is only 0.35. To give you an idea of comparison, FHA is 0.8. So it's 1.85. So it's basically 1/3 the monthly mortgage insurance.
Wow.
But again, it's 100% financing. So if your client had saved up 3.5% to go FHA, now they can use that for closing costs and they can just finance 100%, no problem. So the main thing is that, and I did put into the document section, you can see right there. Now, you're kind of allowed to technically see the product knowledge. That's our internal lending guidelines, but I thought, hey, whatever, if somebody wants to read it, go for it. So it has more information than you'll probably want, but some of you guys like to read and get data, right? So again, it's 100% financing. In Placer County, the income limit is $137,500. So you can finance up to $625,000, but it is income based. Now, don't let the $137,000 deter you. There is ways, like if they pay daycare, I can back it out. If they have medical expenses, I can back it out. So what I've done in the past is if I have a client who has a selective overtime, because let's say due to COVID, you know, one of their coworkers got COVID, and so that person had to work a ton of overtime, but now that employee's back to work and the overtime is cut back, I can selectively back that income out to make them fit into the income limit. So I can get creative. So I don't really tell the clients that number so they don't, you know, talk themselves out of it. But just so you know, that's a lot of income you can make to get 100% financing.
Right.
So just keep this in mind because it's a phenomenal loan for people who don't have a higher credit score or people who do have a higher credit score and just want to keep the down payment in their pocket. So I just wanted to make sure to inform you guys on that.
So Val and I used to do a lot of these in another market we worked in, and it's an incredible program if the property qualifies, because if you get closing cost credit from the listing agent, you're getting in the house for essentially
Yes.
$1,000.
Yes.
So
we have
very little
that
money
right
down
now.
needed for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And right now, just to really stress to you guys, the market from 30 days ago is 100% different. I am getting closing cost credits on file after file after file from sellers. Okay.
Yep.
So where you might think, yeah, right. Oh, yes, right. Yes, right. Like $10,000 or $5,000, you know, lots of money. So we're in a completely different market. The rates have gone up. And again, why that is so awesome. And this is what I tell my clients. Rates went up, you guys, but why this is so beneficial for you is it got rid of your competition. And the sellers are freaking out because why?
Yep.
They're afraid the next house they go to buy, their rates are going to keep going up. So they're dumping their houses and just selling them and getting screaming deals because they're afraid. So what a huge opportunity for the buyers who kind of put it all on hold. They need to get their butt back into this market and buy. And the other thing is a lot of people started school, and so now they're putting it on hold. So again, competition is there's very little competition right now. So reach out to all your people that were like, oh, I'm gonna wait till next year. No, I highly recommend you don't wait till next year. You could save 20, 30,000 on the house by doing it now during this winter versus waiting. So that's my tidbit for today. Hopefully that was helpful. If you need any other information, reach out anytime.
So quick question, to find out the zip code that qualifies for this, is it in this?
And you actually have to input an address.
Okay.
Yeah, it's address specific.
Type it in.
Yeah, and it'll give you a map. It'll
Okay.
show you a map.
Awesome, thank you.
Yay.
Is El Dorado Hills still qualified? They're out, right? El Dorado Hills is out.
Again, what I would say
Put the address
is,
in.
yes, because I would have naturally instinctively said no way for Lincoln.
It used to be, El Dorado Hills
Yeah.
used to be in there.
Yeah.
And Loomis and Granite Bay.
So did Lincoln.
Parts of Loomis still are.
And these parts of Loomis. So that's why I would say, instead of ruling it out, because today I shocked myself. The fact that part of Lincoln qualified, I would have never said that. If somebody asked me the question, I'd have said no way. So I say, you might as well check and it'll let you know.
Yeah. So when you're doing your open houses, just say, we have a special program through our approved lender at EXP. You want them to know, why do I need to go with you and not Coldwell River? That we're promoting through EXP special. Is it not a special program? But you gotta make it seem special, right? This is why you need me. I go, I can get you into parts of Granite Bay, El Dorado Hills, 12 Bridges, kind of, we gotta look it up. But I can get you 100%. Other people are like, I can't afford to buy a house. They have income, but they don't have money. They haven't saved up, and I think I need $100,000 to move into Loomis or Granite Bay or El Dorado Hills or 50. Go, you don't need any money. So real question, quick question. What do you guys see out there? You heard what she just said. I had a conversation with the EXP agent yesterday. He was selling a home for a family member, Forest Hills tough market, I'll give you that. And no cost. And they're firing him because the home isn't selling. They think he's doing something wrong at 579, and they're relisting with another agent. They're going to pay a full commission and they're getting it for free. And they're saying nothing for free. There must be something wrong with our relative. And he's kind of fighting for it. I go, you're not getting paid. And if you do get it, they're wanting to raise the price back up to 6 from 579. They can't believe they're not getting 579. So what we're seeing here is a shift in the market. You heard her saying 30 days ago, it's a different market. Today, everyone's getting closing costs. Like sellers are starting to freak out. Anybody else seeing some listing? Yep, I'm getting head nod. So here's what's happening. Go for dramatic effect, Chris. Hit those light switches, and Rob, turn them off. Everyone, turn them off. Hit the big one. Here, hit that one. There we go. That's what just happened.
Yep.
It happened this quick in 2005. In 2005, I sold 55 homes in a month. The next month, it was 19. The next month, 17. The next month, 12. It was a light switch. Go ahead and turn it back on for dramatic effect. My marriage counselor says I have a dramatic personality. She taught me, stay in your triangle, Brent. You're kind of over here. Come back in. I'm like, okay, I'm here. It's true. I'm a bit of a drama person. Anyways, but and I like colorful shirts. All right, so here's the deal. So we are seeing shift. So you have to do this. You need to be tough as hell with your sellers, because those weak listings are about to get your ass kicked. So here's what happened. 10 years of growth right there. Started in April. You need to draw it out on a piece of paper, just like this, 2011. And it's gone up, 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 up and away. But guess what we just did? We just hit the top of the market. Absolutely. Say, I was just in a room with 25 of the top agents in Sacramento, and every head was nodding. Listings are starting to not move. Price reductions. They dropped it from 599 to 579. I think it would sell in a second. And they've had 2 or 3 people come look at it and go, like this. And so what's happening is sellers are going, I'll pay closing costs. How many of you have seen that last 6 months or a year? No. But in last 6 months or a year? No, they weren't doing it. So that is an indication sellers are starting to freak out, because the sellers are going, oh my God, what's wrong? Well, we've done this. We've actually come here. And so people who hold the line, and if I could, maybe I'm going to give you kind of a, maybe overshot this a little, but I'll show you this, maybe like this. So it's not going to be in 2005, it did this. It literally was we were selling homes here at $795 for a 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom, 5-bath, 4,500 square foot home. People were buying them like hotcakes from Santa Rosa in the Bay Area. 4,500 square foot home for $795, really? And then we were selling them here for $255. half, if this is H, to the quick math, half would be what? 4. What's 255? It's a 68% market correction. So we saw this complete, and draw it out, show them. We saw complete. Now what's happened in this market is people have paid cash. People who did get loans have 2.5% 30-year fixed interest rates. They have 1.9. If they have a bad one, it's like 3.7. But these are all rates to brag about. These are rates. Nobody here has adjustable, write this down, adjustable interest rates. They don't have negative amortization. The ones who did do stated income, and they did bring stated income back, they had to back it up with bank statements that they actually do make $2 million a year in income. They had to show it. Before the stated income, they didn't have to show it. If the letters checked, it was discriminatory. How dare you check to see if they actually have the money? And you literally could be a maid at the Holiday Inn Crown Plaza and say, I make $3 million a year and go buy homes in Las Vegas. It was insane. That is why we had this crash. So here's what's happening right now. It's already starting to drop and people don't know it and they're going to stay here. If they adjust quickly, they're going to catch it. But the longer they wait out here, the further the drop. Now it's not going to be this kind of a drop, but we are going to, what's 10% on an $800,000 home? 80 grand. So I'm not talking about 68%. We're talking about 10%. So why did nothing happen when they dropped the price to 579 from 599? Is it the agent? If it's in the MLS, has everyone seen it?
Yes.
Everybody's seen it. It goes to Realtor.com, Zillow, Redfin. 98% of the buyers are out there on Realtor.com, Zillow, or Redfin. End of story. They're seeing that. They're going, no, thank you. Your price twice. So you need to get them into the office and have a come to Jesus meeting and go, we're going shopping for homes. Would we buy your home at 579? Because look at what I found at 550. Look at what I found at 545. And then you need to educate them. If you don't do that, they're like, Holly, what are you doing to sell my house? What's right? They're literally firing a relative who's doing it for free because they love them to hire someone to pay them. And is it going to change when they put it in the thing at 579? No, but they don't know that. So you got to have some real strong things saying you could chase the market down. You could literally chase it, or you could get ahead of the curve and make the adjustment now. And is it going to get better moving into winter?
Nope.
Nope. They're going to get better next spring. Really? We know that real estate is cyclical. It runs in 7 to 10-year cycles. Guess what? It's 2021. We've just completed a 10-year cycle. One thing we know about history is history repeats itself. And I guarantee you, we're going down. And we're going to adjust. This is my third one. I got in the 90s. Every home was boarded up. Every home was at home. You could buy any home in Sacramento for $500. Any home in Folsom, any home in Granite Bay, you got $500. Pick the house, take it, please. Take the house. The government, it was called a HUD home. And I was selling homes all over, brand new homes with 3-4 car garages and pools and granite counters. All they needed was a job and $500. That was the 90s, called a HUD home. Oh, by the way, the commission, 5% on every house. Not 2.5, not 3, 5%. I was selling 3, 4, 5 homes a month, and I'm getting 5% on. How many like 5%?
Yeah.
And that was just for the buyer side. So you need to have tough love. You need to go shop for homes and go, would I buy your home in Granite Bay at 988? Would I buy your home in El Dorado's Mill for 1.4? And go look and let them see, like, does this look like yours? They go, it's way better than mine. It's $100,000 on yours. And it isn't selling. So you have two choices: pull your home off the market and wait it out. Waiting out, we've had one of the biggest booms we've ever seen in the history of real estate. Do we all agree?
Yes.
We're going to correct for the next 2, 3, 4 years. Here's the good news. You think, oh no. Being 1 out of 25 offers sucks. Being 1 out of 10 or 15 offers sucks. Being 1 out of 5, it's so stressful. You're going to start to be able to find buyers who love the home. Prices will get adjusted down here where people are actually excited to buy again. Interest rates are still good, even though they've gone up. Where are they at right now?
Low 3s.
It's still phenomenal. I remember when interest rates hit in the 7s, like, it's a 7% interest rate. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. So don't be letting them poo-poo historic, 50-year historic low interest rates. It's
We can
phenomenal.
get them too. They just have to pay a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm using to say urgency now before the twos go away.
And ask them, what are you being quoted? I'm being quoted 3.33. My lender can get you the twos right now. Let's call her right now. And you get them on the phone. You don't say, here's your card, call her. That's what rookies do. Pros go, hey, let me see if I can get her on the phone right now. You got to meet Alicia. She's amazing. And you call her and she answers. And or you do a little quiet text, 911. She's like, what the hell's that? Hey, it's Alicia. And she's like, she's having a baby at the hospital or something. Yeah. And so be smart. I cannot tell you back in the day when I was selling, I haven't worked with buyers in a decade, but when I did, I was on the phone with my lender and we didn't have FaceTime. I'd be FaceTime them. 80% of communication is nonverbal.
Yep.
It's very important that you're here watching this. When you do a three-way call, with someone, you have them come in, those of you on Zoom, it's the hand movement, it's the movement, it's the smile, it's the eyes, it's the smiling eyes. And I'm telling you, you need to go in and mentally prepare yourself on listing appointments, mentally prepare yourself on buying appointments. I was talking to Steve Evans. Where's Steve? Right there. He told me last week, one of the things I said that really rung true with him last week was I talked about expectations. You get in life what you tolerate.
Yeah.
And you get what you expect. And which says that, see, some of you go show property and you just expect to not sell a house. When I can promise you, when I did work with buyers, if I was showing property out, you were writing an offer today because I'm showing you what you want. I didn't show, if you said I want a 4-bedroom, 2-bath in Loomis, that's at least 1,500 square feet, it's got to be under X. And I'm showing you 2, 3, 4 of these, we're going to buy one. And if I show 2, 3, 4 duds, you ever go show them property and like, oh, that sucked, this sucked, that sucked, the price sucked, everything sucked, you're kind of depressed too. And they go, hey, do you want to see house next week? Oh, we got your card. We'll call you Darcy. Because they're a little depressed, right? Let's be honest. So if you're smart, man, you have what I call an emergency backup property. It's in Newcastle. They told you do not show us anything over 7, right? Nothing over $1.5 million. This one's $1.6 million or $1.7 million. It's 100 to 200,000 over what they told you. It's emergency backup. Or you can just leave. They're depressed. You're depressed. And like, yeah, maybe we'll call you. Maybe we won't. This sucks. Maybe we'll wait 5 years. And you go, well, I got this one right here. Can I read it to you? It's on 10 acres, has a view. It's got a full Dutch barn with a Dutch oven. No. And it was owned by the Dutch brothers. And with a year of free drinks. Oh my God, can you believe this? It's right here. And I'll literally hold the thing. I put my thumb on the price. Look at my thumb. Where's the price in the MLS printout? And I'm literally in Antelope, I'm in Roseville, I'm in Granite Bay, I'm showing them all the pictures, my thumb's on the price on purpose. It's higher than they wanted. And I go, it's right around the corner. I told them we might pop by. Do you want to see it? They're like, yes. And then we'll say, how much is it? And you guys tell them, bad move. I said, that's the best price. Keep it in a secret. Wait till we go see it. Let's go. You want to sell at a high level? I've sold 14 in a month, not a year. Some of you have never sold 14 in a month. I've sold 14 in a month. And then we go look at it and like, oh my God, I've got to have this. So how much is it? Well, you know how you said nothing over 900,000. This is 950, but we're going to offer 850 and I'm going to get them under 9 into your budget. But what if they won't drop under 9? Then we walk. We don't need them. They need us. We walk. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I go, what if would you take this home for $897? Yes, because they're depressed. I just showed them 4 bird turds, right? It smells like cat, smells like smoke, smells like mold. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Have you been in those homes?
Yeah.
Are they depressed?
Yes.
Are you depressed?
Yes.
Stop being depressed. Being dramatic. Now, see, oh, sorry. Stop it on it. That feels good. Now, so here's the deal. Emergency backup homes. Are you doing this? You need to do it. Or they're going Granite Bay, Granite Bay, and you have an emergency back home. It's East Roseville. It's 100 yards across the street from Sierra College Boulevard, and it's called East Roseville. They say Roseville, and this one's called Roseville Point. Roseville Point is Citrus Heights. It says Roseville Point on it. It's good marketing. Welcome to Roseville Point. And even kind of, it looks like Roseville Homes. You're in Citrus Heights. You say, do you want to live in Citrus Heights? They're like, hell no, right? If they're hooked on Granite Bay, do you want to live in East Roseville? A lot of you, oh, East Roseville, so nice. Well, the real people who want the word Granite Bay, I don't want to live in East Roseville. Again, finger over these, it's right around the corner. We go look at it. It looks like Granite Bay, feels like Granite Bay. It's Orangevale. You with me?
Yeah.
So they want El Dorado Hills, show Rescue, show Diamond Springs. It's right there. It looks like El Dorado Hills. The price is way better. Emergency backup homes. You can have one, you can have two. I have sold this so many times. And then they go, yeah, let's go in at 850, right at 850. And sometimes they shock me. They've come down to 925. We've got up to 9, they've gone to 9. It actually worked. My crazy plan worked.
Yeah.
Now, other times, many times, they said, well, we'll go to 935. And they're like, I don't care. I love it so much. We'll pay the extra 35 grand. I've sold those a million times. I've had things to them. Hey, we have another offer coming in. We're going to counter you full price. Sorry, they counted full price. We don't care. We talked about it. We love it. We'll take it. And they paid 50, 100,000 over what they said they do because they said they'd love it. Stop being order takers. What are order takers? What do you want? 4-bedroom, 2-bath. That's got to be between 500,000 and 600,000. Has to be Roseville, Rockland, or Lincoln. You know, think out of the box. Think Penryn. Think Penryn. It's Penryn. Think Citrus Heights. Think Antelope. Think go get creative, right? And then change the price. I mean, it has to be 3,000 square feet. Show them that's 2,500 square feet. Sharon Kubaki taught me when I was 5 years in. I had this couple, they wanted Folsom. They wanted 2,000 square feet. They were clear, don't you dare show us a home over 2,000. I couldn't make them happy. Do people have champagne taste on a beer budget?
Yes.
I showed them homes for 2 months. There's just nothing. They're like, hey, they were depressed. And Sharon tells me, I go, you got anything? She says, I got something in the parkways there. I'm like, it's a great community. I'm like, really? I don't see it. She describes it to me, shows me a picture. I'm like, how did I miss this? It's amazing. It's exactly what they want. I've been showing, I know what they wanted. They wanted new, they wanted nice, and they wanted the parkways. I couldn't find anything. She goes, yeah. I set up the appointment. I go, oh, I'm sorry. What's the square footage? She was 1,550. Was it anywhere near 2,000? Was I showing them 1,700, 1,800 square foot homes at 19? Nope. I go, oh, that's why I couldn't find it. I'm putting 2,000 as the minimum criteria. And she taught me one, she's a sweetheart. She's been doing it 20 years. She's a sweetheart. Go show them the house. Go buy the house. I'm like, no, they have to. She said, just go show them. It's open for go show them the house. I did. They bought that house. Stop being order takers. Try to make them happy. Try to keep it between 5 and 6 or 6 and 7 or 8 and 9. Try to do Loomis or Granite Bay. But when you run out of inventory, don't go, well, I'll call you next week. Get creative. Get resourceful. And so I said, let's go look at it. And they go, I showed them the home. I didn't tell them, hey, it's 15. If I'd have said it's 1,550, they would have gone. I just said, hey, check this out. You want to see it? Yeah, let's go. Ran over there. We love it. We love it. Let's write an offer. And then we're literally leaving. They go, oh, by the way, what's the square footage? I go, 1,550. They're like, wow, it feels like 2,000. They went and bought that house. So are you doing other areas? Are you with me? Other prices, lowering the square footage. It's got to be 2,000 or you're sneaking down to 95. Emergency backup home. It's 1992, but it's been remodeled and looks like a 2018. Are you guys with me? Is this important?
Yes.
So last thing again, when you come in the office, draw these silly little graphs. You know, I kind of mangled this one, but well, I don't know what I just did. So wow, it's like glued back here. But this one, show them the well, that was the 2005 draft, and it's showing what's happening now. It won't be as bad, but it's going to go for years. We are going to see 2-3 years of this slow sliding down the backside. Our market's healthy. We're not going to have a ton of repos because people have, and then people who did get loans, they put down $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. I just bought a home, put down $800,000. I'm buying another one in Puerto Rico. People are putting down, either paying cash or putting down chunks. They have rates they're proud of. So we're not going to have this REO world, but here's the good news. You're going to write offers and have no competition and have no stress, and you're going to like your life a lot better. This is a gift to all of you. And you've been down this road. Do you agree, Alicia?
Yeah. If you don't mind, I wanted to
Yeah.
put something out there. I went builder milk routing, I call it, last Friday. And I want to tell you guys, if you're not milk routing builders,
Yep.
you are not using your head, and here's why.
Well, time out. Who knows what milk routing builders are? Raise your hand.
No.
Bringing them down.
One
No.
person, 2 people. Good. This is awesome. Pay
Yeah.
close attention.
So what it means is you hop in your car and you go builder to builder to builder to builder to builder, and you go, hey, I have a whole bunch of people pre-qualified. I can't find them houses. And so I want to check out, what is your inventory? So you say that because you need to be coming, bringing value. Okay. And so you get their inventory, you go, awesome, I'm going to go check out your model homes. I'll be right back. You go view the homes, you'll be shocked at how magnificent they are. Hey, do you have anything left? And then they give you their sheets of what's available. I did want to throw out there, what happens when somebody comes in and they can't afford your home? Who do you refer them to? They can't buy it for 750,000 and they're only stuck at 450,000. That's a lead for you guys, right? Number one. Number two, what happens when your client needs to sell their home first? Who do you refer them to? They refer to their favorite agent. How do you become their favorite agent? You milk route them. You bring them Starbucks every week. Every other week if you don't want to be too overwhelming, but I'm overwhelming, so I like to roll.
I went to Apple Hill and brought pies. I
Perfect
got
pies.
Multiple listings from
Yeah.
Lennar Homes, because I bought them $15 Apple Hill pies. They thought it was so sweet, they gave me listings. How many of you trade pies for listings? You keep going, I interrupted you.
No, not a problem, but you basically visit them every week or every other week, and the reason I call it a milk route is it's consistent. So the biggest builder I cracked, it took me 18 months to officially crack them, but then I got 300 transactions per year from one source, okay? So for you guys, every person going in there almost needs to sell a home, right? So if you become their preferred and their current agent isn't selling, they're gonna go, why don't you try mine? They're better, right? So it's a huge and magical referral source. We call them whales. For you guys, it takes just as much energy to win over that whale as it does to win over one client, right? So why not use your energy wisely? And they're bored. They're sitting there all day. They get a couple of visitors maybe. So they're like, yay, you're here. Very welcoming, no appointment needed sometimes. Sometimes they need appointments, but Taylor Morrison, I think, is where I was at. I was like, oh crap, I need an appointment. I called the 1-800 number, I had an appointment in 15 minutes. So don't let that deter you. Just call the number and they'll book you an appointment in 15 minutes. So he did this last Friday.
No, it was yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
Yesterday, and over on the 50 side, and I got a lot of positive responses.
Oh,
And they were
yeah.
asking for my cards, and so it was so it was good. It was a good
But
experience.
agents,
First time ever doing it, and
Yeah.
it was a good experience.
just as good of a source for you guys.
Now, one of the things you'll do is I remember doing that, and the couple I overheard them, I'm looking at the model homes, they go, we love these, but the back. It's okay. They go, we love these, but the backyards are too small. Well, I just been to a bunch of other builders with a big, I go, oh, you want a big backyard? I just came from, I don't remember the name of who it was, but another builder, this is years ago. And I go, it's right down the street. They go, well, you know what, I'm headed back that way. All right. Why don't I just follow me? It's easier than tell you, you're gonna get lost. And I don't even know the address to map. I can't even, just follow me. But they followed me over there. I walked in and I go, by the way, the prices are the same no matter what, but if I register you, they give me a little thank you. I get a little thank you from the builder. No difference in price for you. You can ask them, do you mind? Because they want us to tell people about, they want us to do what I'm doing right now. They're like, oh yeah, sure. I walked in, I registered them. They bought that house. I made like $18,000. So you can actually, you're kind of doing open houses at build model homes. Now, if they're excited there, don't move them. But if they're going, you ever go like, oh, I hate this. Like, oh, this is terrible. I wish, and you'll overhear people. I go, oh, I'm an agent. I just went, I know the building more. Homes are beautiful. Toll Brothers. It's incredible. Have you not seen Toll Brothers? It's right down the street. Like, well, where is that? I go, no, I don't know the address, but follow me. You can actually pick up clients that way. All kinds of stuff, build and then the relationship, but be very careful. Don't piss off the agents at the development. And then one thing you could do this very sparingly. But I say, look, on the home I bought, I go, if the model home comes up, call me first. If I get it, I'll give you $1,000 cash. And they're like, oh, that's not necessary. Oh, it's interesting. I got a phone call. I live in that house today, and I did give him $1,000 cash. He's like, thank you. And so there's, what's $1,000? How many people do that for $1 million listing?
100%.
But don't go into every home and say, I'll give you $1,000. Be classy about it.
The construction is delayed. So the other opportunity for you is one of the communities I was in, they go, I got a bunch of upset people because it was scheduled to close in November due to construction. They're having a hard time getting the bathtubs. Now they're pushed to February. So the agents, they know they're gonna sell that house in a heartbeat if they lose this buyer. They get a relationship and they love their customer, right? Just like we do. So they'll say, literally, why don't you call my friend and just go see if there's something where you sell? Because some of these people, they can't just randomly push 90 days.
Yeah.
But that's where that's huge opportunity for you guys to get customers comes in if you build a friendship with that realtor or that sales agent. Because they're gonna sell the home either way, they know it. They know that it's so easy for them to sell homes, it's no big deal. So they don't feel like they lost something by giving you that customer. So just keep that in mind. I highly recommend it.
All right, everyone, I gotta run. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm gonna go out, so.
All right.
Thank you. All right.
All right.
What is this?
And some snacks for the road. Some snacks for the road. All right, so we do have a very special guest. He's been waiting patiently in the wings. It's Jeff Sachs with Blue Water Credit. Jeff, I made you co-host. Would you mind sharing us a little bit about like your background, your history, your company, and I believe you have a presentation for us. Is that correct? I believe you're muted, my friend. Most used phrase of 2020. You're still muted, Jeff.
All right, thanks, Johnny. I was
There-
saying, I always get a lot of great information from Brent. He told me 80% of communication is nonverbal, so I was checking to see if you guys were listening.
We're ready.
Thanks for taking time to listen today. So my wife, Natalie, and I actually started our company in 2008. Our sole vision was to love and value people, offer solutions, and give hope to people struggling with bad credit. We've exceeded 12,000 clients we've helped. We're actually trying to catch Brent's downline. So one of these days we'll be up to Brent's downline, but 12,000 people we've helped. So thank you guys for the opportunity. Two services that we offer is credit repair, which is the removal of negative items from a credit report. Most people don't know that you can get something removed if it is outdated, not verifiable, if it's incomplete, meaning they haven't put in all the required information, or if it is not relevant. So we've got thousands of strategies we can use to try to get accounts impacting credit scores. We also have a debt negotiator on staff, so we can negotiate collections, second mortgages, repos, anything that your clients need for loan approval. Best clients for credit repairs, anybody that has collections, especially medical collections, identity theft, late payments, if they file bankruptcy, or if they need debt negotiation. So exactly what is a credit score? Some of you may have heard me talk before, so I've got some new information. I may have kept some of my bad jokes, but credit scores are actually a prediction of our likelihood to pay back a loan based on our credit history. That's why lenders offer what's called risk-based pricing. So obviously, the higher your credit score, the lower your interest rate will be. This slide's actually from FICO. I attended one of their workshops recently. And so FICO predicts that 1 person out of 20 is not going to pay back their loan with a 680 credit score. And you can see how the risk increases for the lender as the credit score drops. With a 620 credit score, banks are actually factoring in that 1 out of 4 people are not going to pay back their loan. Now, you guys, especially if you are a lender, you probably talk to people on a daily basis where they already know my credit score. Everyone, credit scores online are not accurate. They're wrong 100% of the time. You guys will probably get this slide. Credit Karma is the Zillow's estimate of credit scores. All the credit scores that people are seeing online are considered educational scores. Other than having a lender pull credit, there's only one website you can actually get a mortgage FICO score, and it's at myfico.com. It is a soft pull, but it does cost money. It's $30 to sign up for their monitoring, or one-time pull is going to be $60. Now, if your client does decide to go to myfico.com, they're going to get multiple credit scores when they buy that. So you have to make sure and tell your client, make sure you find the mortgage FICO score, because if they're looking at any of the other FICO scores, they're likely going to be higher than the ones in the mortgage industry. Now, credit scores, the calculation is a little mystical, but there is a general formula that they use. 35% of the score has to do with delinquent accounts. And so FICO is looking back for 7 years, and they want to see how many accounts were delinquent, how severe was the delinquency, was it a 30-day late payment or a collection, and how recent. The more recent the delinquency, the more it impacts the score. Next is 30% of your score has to do with your credit card limit versus the balance. That's called your debt ratio. To have the best credit score, you want to use probably between 1 and 10% of your available limits. And then 15% of the score has to do with your average age of your accounts. FICO looks at your newest account open, an average age, and they also look at your oldest account open. And then 10% has to do with a variety of open accounts. So never have your clients close any accounts, and you don't want them to open anything new if they're getting ready to be pre-approved as well. Each time your credit's pulled, that is an inquiry. Now the recipe for the highest credit score. So if you are trying to get over that 800 mark, or your clients are trying to get up there, obviously you can't have any late payments or delinquencies. Your credit card limit. Now this is probably the trickiest thing I'm going to talk about. You want to try to have a balance between 1% and 5% of your available limit. So on a $1,000 credit card, you want to try to use $10 to $50 on a $1,000 credit card. Zero doesn't score as high as a small balance. So if you have a zero reporting on your credit card, if you have a small balance on there, your score will actually go up. 15% of the score, like I said, has to do with your average age. FICO wants to see an old account open. So, I mean, up to 25-year history on an account. They also want to see an average age of around 11 years. And FICO will penalize you if you have a new account. So if you have an account with less than 2-year payment history, FICO does hold that against you on your credit score. And then for a good mix of credit, FICO likes to see 3 to 6 accounts open, paid as agreed. They want to see 1 to 5 credit cards. They want to see an installment loan. That could be a car loan or school loan. And lastly, they like to see a mortgage. So if your client thinks that they're going to pay off their car loan and their score is going to go up, it's actually going to likely drop a little bit. So FICO wants to see us in debt with low balances, making on-time payments. Now, this is new for 2021. We normally only have access to a free credit report once a year, but right now you have access to this report once a week. And so you can go no strings attached and get a free credit report at annualcreditreport.com. There's no scores on this report, but this report is the only credit report that actually shows the month and the year delinquencies fall off your credit report. So if your client has allegedly an old collection that's over 7 years old, they can go to this website, they can check their credit report, and it's going to show the month and the year that that collection is being removed from their credit history. Now, if you guys have a client that doesn't have any credit history or very limited history, you want to have them open up a secured card. You can do that through Capital One or a credit union. We actually have a credit builder card that we can offer. The cool thing about our card is it reports within 7 days. So if they open the credit card today, within a week, it's going to show up on their credit and start building their history. We also have an installment loan that we can help. It's as low as a $15 monthly payment. It goes into a savings account for the client, and then it reports to all 3 bureaus. So that will help their score as well. And then recently, you guys may have heard that you can add rental history to a credit report. That's 2 credit bureaus. So that's Equifax and TransUnion. And the cool thing about that is if you have a client that's been renting in the same spot for longer than 2 years, when this account reports, it's going to have a 2-year payment history. So for adding rental history, there's a fee. We've shopped many companies. Usually it's around $300 to $500 to get it added. This link we have here, it's only $75 to add it for the year. And we're seeing it help boost up credit scores. Now, if you guys have any clients struggling with bad credit, we always offer a free consultation. If you guys can do an email introduction or have them go to our website, which is bluewatercredit.com, they can register for a consultation. And then as long as we have your information in our system, we will track all the clients to you, and we feel like it's appropriate to pull credit. We'll reach out to your lender, have them run credit, and then if the scores are where they need to be, we turn it back over to you for home shopping. So typical results, we can usually bump a credit score around 15 to 20 points each month. On average, we can remove 40% of negative accounts. And then we can see results as fast as 7 days. Usually takes around 35 days to see results. And then we do offer 100% satisfaction guarantee. So no matter what, we're making sure your clients are well taken care of. So if you guys, I went over a ton of information. If you guys want to text in BWC to this number, it's 916-292-7962. It will auto respond with a custom home buyer credit plan, credit score handbook. It's an ebook we just wrote. You can use for marketing purposes. You'll have the credit builder link, the secure credit card, and then also a copy of today's presentation. So any questions, Johnny?
Dude, you just dropped a lot of information really fast. Thank you. Thank you. No, anybody have any questions for Jeff? I think you nailed it, man. How do they get a hold of you? What you do? How fast you can help? Alicia, since you are a lender and you're dealing with credit issues a lot, what are some issues that you typically see like that Blue Water could help out on? Like those quick things.
Okay, so is this me asking him a question to see if they do it?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. What if we have a client that has a medical collection for $200? Is that something you address? And if so, how do you do it?
Yeah, great question. So medical collections, we actually are one of the few credit repair companies in the US where we have a direct portal with TransUnion, and we can literally get a medical collection deleted instantly if it's under $500. And then we would just let you know, repull credit. You can typically repull credit the same day. And as long as, that collection will be deleted. It depends on the collection agency. We have a debt negotiator on staff. And so we have relationships with multiple collection agencies where they will agree to delete for payment. If that's the case, our negotiator can get that usually resolved within a week. We'll get you a deletion letter, and then you can do a rapid rescore to get it removed.
So one thing that I've seen a lot of credit repair companies do is they'll just dispute everything. Is that what you guys do?
Not at all. Yeah. So we understand accounts cannot be in dispute. And so we're looking for legal loopholes. So we can do a pre-litigation demand letter to work on removing things based on them being inaccurate or incomplete. And that's how our success rate's really high with getting accounts deleted.
Wow, I love it. So if a client just needs to, so what is the time frame for deletion? Is there a specific time frame, like if something's a certain amount of how old it is, or does that even matter? It just doesn't matter. Is it a collection versus a charge off? Does that matter?
Yeah, totally. So results from credit repair, like I said, if it's a medical collection or if it's TransUnion, we can see turnaround time same day. We can negotiate collections for deletion. That's usually about a 7-day period. If it's sending a demand letter to the creditor for making a mistake, legally they have 30 days to investigate and update a credit report. But information will fall off a credit report if it's negative, usually around the 7-year mark. If it was charged off, it's 7.5 years. But yeah, 7 years is kind of the magic number when delinquencies start falling off a credit report.
So is his info on our Brent?
There is, yeah, yeah. So
Can someone copy and paste all that stuff in the chat?
Yeah, I was hoping. So I do credit.
Sean, can you text me those or email me those? Or Sean, Jeff, can you email me those links?
I sure will. Yeah, these are all the links I mentioned. The custom home buyer credit plan. It's a free link you could send your buyers, and it's going to be an Excel spreadsheet and they can put in their credit card information, their limit, their balance. It's going to tell them what the balance needs to be to optimize their credit score. That's all free. Free ebook you guys can use, the secure credit card, the rent builder, and the secured installment loan. And then we do have a discounted identity theft protection for $19.95. So I'll shoot you guys all that information. And then if you guys have questions, feel free to let me know.
Yeah.
So one more question. So I used to, or I have always done all my credit repair for free, but I am now seeing that it's not the best use of my time. So that's why I'm so interested. But I have one right now who they got a mortgage late reported on their credit, but of course, when I ask for 12 months bank statements proving they paid on time, I can see that they've paid on time. Is that something where I could hand that over to you and then you would directly deal with the creditor to get it taken off, or how would that work?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, with proof, we can send it to the creditor. We can, if they don't update it, we can file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The CFPB's turnaround time is like 2 weeks. So yeah, that's something that we can definitely help with.
That's awesome.
What's your typical cost for?
Good question. That's a good thing.
Yeah, you bet. So the initial consultation is always free. And then usually it's around $200 to enroll in our program. And it's around 150 to 175 each month we work for the client. And then our program is month to month. And we do have 100% refund policy. If we aren't able to get something removed or repaired, then we'll give the client their money back. We usually, obviously, because of our refund policy, we only take on people we feel that would benefit from our services. So
If somebody had disputed everything because they were with the wrong company, is that something you would help for the $200 is basically helping them undispute everything if they can't figure it out on their own?
Yep. Yeah, we can send the request to remove the disputes ourselves. And then we actually have direct phone numbers to the Bureau specifically for removing the disputes. So we can give that to the customer. They can call in and within 3 to 5 days, they'll come off the report as well.
Perfect, thank you.
You bet.
And moral of the story is if you have credit questions, contact Blue Water. They can help you.
Awesome. Well, you guys are great. Wish I could have been there in person, but I'm used to the Zoom thing. So if you need anything, let me know. And then we are doing advanced credit repair training today at 3:30. That's also in my link. So there's a Zoom link in there. You guys could join us. It's going to be about 45 to 60 minutes, advanced credit repair training. So thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate your time.
Yep.
All right. So we're coming up on the hour and there's still so many cool things that we can cover. So we're just going to push it over to next weekend. Did you have something?
One last thing, at noon today at my office, if you need my card for the address, I am going to reteach the 25 subjects to do video marketing for social media. So you've already seen it. So it's bullet point, 25 different programs to talk about for you guys to market on social media. So I am providing lunch if you want to come. And it's like 3 miles away. It's like right around the corner.
Bribing us with food. Might show up. Yeah. All right. All right. So there are, speaking of upcoming events, there are a few that I wanted to touch on before we all skedaddle. Let me share my screen. And close that. We did that. That's Jeff's ebook. This only has about 40 spots left, right? The business builder class with Bill Pipes. It's a PCAR. It's happening, was it November 18th? It's a Thursday. There's only about 40 spots left. And the only reason why there are 40 spots left, it might be 30 now, is because they opened up an additional 50. Like it's sold out. So if you haven't registered for this yet, please do so. The cost is free. And just to give you background on who's leading it, it's Bill Pipes, one of the top Tom Ferry coaches in the country. And we're going to have him for 3 hours. He's going to be discussing how to outline and how to create a business plan for 2022. It's weird to say 2022. It's already on us.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's that. And then next week, what we're going to be covering. Oh, one more thing. This is super important. And you can thank Mr. Steve Evans for this. If you haven't noticed it, sorry, my wife's like due today. So every buzz I hear, I'm like freaking out. So yeah, the baby's here. Nope, somebody else's phone. False alarm. All right. So all real estate agents need to complete their code of ethics training. If you think you've done it, or you're not sure you've done it, or you're like, yeah, I already did it, I would encourage you to go to nar.realtor and confirm. So if you, NAR, all you do is you log in. I logged in already. And you click on manage account. And I thought I had done it, but I took some other class and it says code of ethics incomplete. So it's pretty obvious. It's right there. It gives you the options on how you can take the course online, in person. There's options. You pick what works for you, and it has to be done by the end of this year. If you don't, you automatically lose access to the MLS, and that sucks because January 1st is a holiday. And so if you're looking properties up on January 1st, you're just out of luck.
How long does it take?
A couple hours is what I was told.
Can you do that with the PCAR too?
There's tons of options. So I would just hop on NAR and check it out. I think they have a PCAR. Yeah. And again, everybody, my knowledge is everybody has to do it. So just.
Renewing your license, would that be part of it or no?
Good question. I don't know. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I just read that.
Johnny, is that a yearly thing that we do?
It's every 3 years, I believe, is how it works. Yeah. So, yeah. So just keep in mind, code of ethics, make sure you're getting that taken care of. And then the last thing that I was going to speak on real quick was Darcy had a question, and so Darcy's been doing this a long time, longer than I have. And she came to me with a question. I was like, I've never done that, Darcy. like, what are you talking about, this increased deposit thing? And she's like, well, it worked really well. So I hopped in the broker room and I wanted to share it with you. Take 30 seconds. So what happens is typically, if you have a property in escrow, you put a deposit down, your buyer puts a deposit down. Let's say they decide they no longer want the house. Everybody has to sign off. All parties have to agree for that deposit to then be released either back to the seller or back to the buyer. If not, it sits in escrow till the end of time, right? What happens is, and what you can negotiate is once a certain milestone is reached in the transaction, that money can actually get wired directly to the seller prior to close of escrow. You just do it in other terms, you put the phrasing in other terms. And the goal here, I spoke with the queen bee, Deborah Penny, on this one. And she said, you do not want to have verbiage in there where it's like you're taking advantage of the buyer. If you're countering a buyer's offer, what you want it to say is essentially, once appraisal contingency has been lifted, deposit is to be released immediately to the seller. And that is and then once the property closes, that deposit will then be credited back to the buyer for their closing costs and down payment. So that way they're not like coming up with extra money. It's just, you've already been paid your 50 grand. If that was the deposit, they don't have to come up with an additional 50 cash. It's just counting towards their closing costs. And that's how it's written in the RPA and other terms. And again, all parties have to agree. And then what happens is, as soon as that, for example, the appraisal contingency is lifted, and let's say the deposit was 50 grand, your seller is instantly getting 50 grand, right? And so now that buyer has even more skin in the game. Again, very, very rare. I've closed a lot of transactions. She's seen it once or twice. I've never seen it. And Darcy has seen it twice. So
Darcy's seen one twice.
The money to be dispersed to the seller during that transaction.
So meaning the verbiage, as soon as appraisal contingency is lifted, money's going to go to the seller.
Yeah.
So you've used it twice or you've seen it twice? How do you mean?
I've used it twice.
As the buyer's agent.
you requested it.
Maybe I'm missing something, but correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny and Darcy, it seems like I would use that if I'm making an offer on your listing. I'm gonna use that to make me look more attractive than anybody else.
Absolutely.
Because here, we've got skin in the game, and as soon as our appraisal is lifted, boom,
Yeah.
you get your 50 grand.
And
So it's,
I have that agents freak out when you say it.
agents freak out.
Because they are not familiar.
Yeah, that's why we're discussing it right now.
Would you be opposed, since you've already talked to Queen Bee, of putting that verbiage on the website so we can,
Yeah.
not screw it up?
That'd be really
As a
helpful.
listing agent, could you like counter it?
I didn't, but I just suggested.
Why would you counter that? That's to your advantage.
I
No,
didn't
no,
know.
no.
Counter it into the contract.
Into the contract,
Yeah.
ask them to do it.
I verbally said, hey, here's some options, and they took it, one took it, ran with it, the other one just fought me to the nails and quoted all these things.
So,
I mean,
so it is legal. It's just very, very rare. And
It's
that's,
aggressive for sure,
and
but-
that's how, so you can do that. It doesn't cost your client any extra money, right? If they're going to close on the property, if you can, and you can make it any milestone in the transaction you want, day 15, after the inspection is removed, after the loan, like it just has to be defined. All parties agree, you know? And so it's just another way to get your offer accepted. Super rare. Most people don't know about it. I'd never even heard of it until Darcy mentioned it. And I was like, Darcy, have you ever heard of this? She's like, yeah, I've seen it a couple times.
That's cool.
So there's your contract tip of the day.
Is that under additional terms or is that under increased deposit?
It's in other terms. Yeah,
Yeah, page 1 or 2.
I think it's 3.
Darcy, is that after all contingencies or just after the?
I did it 10 days.
No, it didn't have to do with contingencies, it had to do with the passing of time. So the contingencies were still in place.
Yeah.
But the deposit was released.
See, it's froggy.
Contingencies aren't- If you don't remove contingencies, then they get.
It's money that money's gone.
It's gone. It's in their bank account. They have,
I completely understand that.
they don't even have to sign off on it. That's the thing. All parties agree to release immediately.
They do actually, in escrow, both parties have to sign for it.
Oh, even after the
So even
RPA is
if the
signed,
deal falls apart, that money.
They never get
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
or they have to go to lawsuit.
Yeah.
to get it
that's
back.
cool.
The buyer's agent had their client sign it, that money was pretty much dead. They agree.
Wow.
So just protect yourself. If you see it happen, make sure your client understands what's going on. And yeah, with that, have a fantastic Thursday, everybody.